stick, and the fact that I know that Marvel don't necessarily have gone off script, if you like, for the comic books, which is nice, mine, because otherwise I'd know all the endings and I'd know what was going on, so you can play with fan theory.
I
could go on for hours, but do you know what I mean?
My end thing on this is that they gave us before we had the Avengers, we had 3 or 4 films.
Yeah.
Before the first Avengers,
yeah.
and that was the start. Now we've probably had 14 films before the Infinity War.
Yeah.
They have tried to create their version of the Avengers in 2 films.
Yeah.
In which one of them, none of them were in it. Suicide Squad. So they've gone from one film, Batman, Superman, to the Justice League.
Yeah.
And it's just nifty. So I'm going to ask the question. We have to leave it.
Sorry,
we have to move
have to leave it.
So yes or no, would you get rid of the DCU and start again?
Sadly, yeah. Especially with the upcoming news of Batman now being changed and Henry Cavill being changed. You've now got 2 brand new characters to invest in. Let's start again. Let's do a good origin story. And we have to remember, DC, that people love DC because it's villains first and it's darkness. And I've always said that. I've always been a massive DC fan because I love darkness and I love the villains. Get your villains right, your heroes will always work. And I've always loved Marvel because the heroes always work and the villains are alright, but it's always the heroes in Marvel and the villains in DC. That's always been my thing. Get your villains sorted out, DC, because that's the issue. Come on, Joaquin. Yeah. No pressure.
Right, okay, and the final bit that we're going to go on to try and save Marvel, me asking this to you, DC, sorry, is why can't they use the DC animated movie universe? So from that, what I mean is Killing Joke, that kind of, and it's what's his name? Luke Skywalker plays the Joker in that, Mark Hamill. So that's the question. Why can't they do it that way?
Why can't they? Because I'm a massive fan of the animated universe. I absolutely love it. You've got all the Justice Leagues on there. You've got more coming out soon. I think 2017, 2018, there's more releases. They're brilliant films, the animated films. I mean, God, Killing Joke came out on Blu-ray and I dragged you straight down to HMV to go buy that within seconds. It cost me a fortune. I should have just waited. But, why can't they? It's still dark. It's unnatural. It's unnerving. The colours are sharp. The movement's brilliant. I have to say, Mark Hamill plays a fantastic Joker. Always has done. His voice is brilliant. And that's the thing, is it totally works. So why can't you just follow suit? Why can't you follow suit? Why can't you just use that, bring that to life?
Yeah, I agree. And I think in terms of, when we say that, we're not saying do a cartoon movie.
No,
we're saying why can't we use that style and that kind of the grittiness and when you mentioned with Killing Joke, it's almost harrowing in certain parts of it. I mean,
because when they kidnap Batgirl and everything, and it's it's quite horrible. They to a chair and they make her watch all that horrible film, and it's quite scary. It's quite nasty, and that's in a comic book. So I'd fancy, and I don't know, I'm going to throw that out there, I'd fancy a Sin City vibe.
Yeah.
A DC Sin City vibe.
I don't see any problem with that at all.
Because I think it would work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So would you agree? You'd say yes.
Yeah, I would have a go. It's working. The animation series and the movies completely work. So why not use it and bring it to life and use that as your working point?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. So there we go. We fixed DC in about 10 minutes there. So for the last couple of minutes, I know, because we have gone on a bit, and again, this is another long one, but that's what happens when you get us talking about these kind of controversial circumstances. And thanks for sticking with us. So now it's time for Hate Shoots. So I'm going to hand over to H. Hate Shoots. Hate Shoots. Hate Shoots. I'm going to hand over to H now. So this is a bit of a change of pace. Hannah.
So while you all worry about the DC universe, I'm actually going to talk about worrying. So worrying refers to the thoughts and images and emotions of negative nature in a repetitive, uncontrollable manner that results from a proactive cognitive risk analysis made to avoid or solve anticipated potential threats and their potential consequences. So in Hannah terms, it's our evolutionary response. I love that new word. I learned that the other day. So we are made to worry because we worry to help us survive. So that's the whole idea, is if we worry, we will survive. We will make something happen and we will change something. So worrying helps us think about, okay, I got to eat. Where am I going to get my food from? So then you solve that. You do a risk analysis and you work out, especially when we're hunter-gatherers, I'm going to go kill that woolly mammoth and that would feed us all for a week or a month. But it might hurt, and you weigh up the consequences. We also worry about water. You have to worry about clean water. We have to worry about where we're going to get water from, make sure we can have a drink. We used to worry about breeding.
Some still do.
And some still do. So, so that was what we were made to do, was eat, drink, sleep, breed. And the whole point of worrying is to encourage us to make good decisions to enable us to live. However, nowadays, these necessities of life are at our fingertips. We no longer have to hunt for our food or scavenge. We can flick on a tap. Some of us, lucky ones.
In this country
can flick on a tap. We can buy things out of a shop. It's all
1 hour
there.
delivery.
1 hour delivery, just eat, yeah. You don't even have to cook anymore. Ping food. You can even get Deliveroo. You don't even have to sit in a restaurant anymore if you don't want to.
Bloody Netflix generation.
Yeah. We don't even need to find a partner. You don't have to send letters and of undying sonnets and all the rest of it and look for the loves of your life. All you need to do now is click a finger and go on swipe left or pop a profile on and you can date online and it's all very faceless. However, even though life has become easier, I feel that a lot of people out there feel that it's unintentionally harder and it's given us more things to worry about. So we used to worry about these basics, but now on top of that, we all worry about money because we have what I call it, we've said this before, the on-tick generation. We can have everything and anything on finance. You want a sofa? You can have finance. You want a telly? Finance. Car? Finance. You can have anything. And you can borrow a large sum of money these days. We worry about what we look like, how much we weigh, what we should be eating, what we shouldn't be eating, which changes like the wind. One day you're allowed eggs, and then next week you're not allowed eggs. Then you can eat the white bit, and then you can eat the yellow bit. Personally, I like it all. Then we worry about getting a job, and not only have you got to get a job now, how about a career? So then we worry about hitting, in a career. Then we worry about our health. No wonder we worry about our health, because guess what? We're worrying. Then we worry about our future, which then leads to the fact that then it opens more, then that does an evil circle. So I worry about my future. Where is my career? Where is my job? What am I going to look like when I'm older? What am I going to be eating when I'm older? Am I going to be able to eat? It's just like an evil circle. And then people deal with stuff differently as well. So that's what I want to go on about, and I want to talk about that today, about what we worry about. And especially after this documentary that I watched on BBC, I'm not quite sure if it's still on there now, guys, but have a look on Catch Up on BBC One. So it's so sad. It was Jerome Rogers. He killed himself after two £65 fines, rocketed into debts over £1,000. A simple repayment plan would have just saved his life. So he was 20 years old. He was working as a moped. He bought a moped, and he was paying back his stepdad for it. His stepdad got it again on finance, and he had to pay him back. And he used the moped, and he was delivering blood supplies to hospitals and earning a little bit of money until he decided what he wanted to do. He was living with his mum. I think he was from Camden, North London, and he lived with his mum, his older brother, and his two sisters. It all escalated just because he was on his bike and he moved into a bus lane too early while he was dropping off blood, and basically he didn't endanger anybody. There was no red light or nothing, and within 2 weeks of him being in the bus lane, he had two £65 fines, and they just kept doubling. Then within the months, with these so-called non-payment penalties, he then had bailiffs fees, and bailiffs popped up, and then he was in debt of something like over £1,000. His mum did see the bailiff for the first time herself, and she was on the way to work, and he was standing outside the garden, and he wouldn't leave. Jerome was like, "It's fine, mum, because you worry, you don't want to tell your mum because it's embarrassing and all the rest of it." 3 hours later, Jerome called his mum and said, right, the bailiff is still here and he won't leave. So Tracy's partner, which Tracy is his mum, sorry, paid the bailiff something like 500 quid to him to go. And then Jerome said, that's absolutely fine, thank you for doing that. I'll give you £128 a week for the next 4 weeks. He said, no, I'll do it, it'll be fine. And then, it was just ridiculous. And he just kept turning up and asking for more money. And before you know it, it was just getting more and more and more. Then sadly, he was this Jerome kid, he was panicking. So he then gets one of those payday loans. And he tries to get a payday loan. So he's in even more, so then he gets into even more debt. And basically the 6th of March, Jerome sent his girlfriend a text saying he loved her and asking her never to forget him. And the next day, Jerome was found by his brother and his family friend in the woods near his home, where he played as a child. And he'd committed suicide because he just didn't see an out. He didn't know what to do.
And
didn't know what to do.
What you'd say about that as well is that a lot of that is obviously worry.
Yeah.
But a lot of that is down to poor preparation from whether that's schools or parents or whatever, for not letting people know how simple it can be to solve these kind of problems. Yeah. And if you solve them early and you stop and you don't ignore things, then this becomes a very easy thing to sort. But the longer you leave stuff and the more you don't discuss with other people and the more you hide stuff, the bigger problem it becomes. And that's when I do feel this generation is a very soft generation, especially, there's this cyberbullying and people kill themselves all the time because of cyberbullying. And you think, in our, even in our day, that didn't happen.
No, you didn't have the cyber nuts. I mean, you were lucky to get on
MSN. Exactly. You get somebody, who flashed the boob or something, and then that would get passed around the school, and everyone like, oh no, that's not good.
And you'd be lucky to even get it because it was all dial up, and then my mum would be like, get off! I want to use the phone.
So pixelated, you couldn't see what it was anyway. But I think it is this. A lot of this generation is not soft, but they're not given the right help.
I don't think they're given the right tools. Like I can remember my family sitting us down and saying, right, this is how you pay your bills, and this is what you earn at the top of the page, and now write all your outgoings, and we do it together, don't we? We get paid every month, and we go, right, rent, pay bills, council tax, we write it all down, and we know what our outgoings are and what we have and what we can save. We break it down, and I've learned very much about, you don't go out and just go get credit cards. And, I went to uni. I know what it's like to be a bit stupid because I've been there. But crikey, and it's just really sad how fast bank charges these days and parking fines, it can just escalate so quickly. So that's a worry in itself. And I was reading, actually, The Independent says that suicide rates have actually risen across Europe, especially the UK, especially a big 8% rise between 2007 and 2009 for suicide rates, all due to money worries, all due to money worrying. And that doesn't necessarily have to be about debts in general, but it's the fact of, nowadays, it's just so pushed on us to go out and get a job, and then the minimum, and as well, minimum wage has had to go up, hasn't it, for us to be able to earn. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you can still live, if that makes sense.
Well, there's a difference, isn't there, there's the conversation at the moment, the difference between the national wage, the minimum wage, and the living wage, which is going to come in soon, I think. Luckily enough, the place I work has the living wage, not the minimum wage. So it's much better. But yeah, no, you're completely right. And just as we wind down, because obviously we've been going on for a while now, but I completely agree. And I think that they need to be given the tools to deal with this stuff. Yeah. And worrying can be the worst thing in the world. And you have a catchphrase that you say to me all the time. Yeah, I really do. And that's something I want to put out there is a problem shared is definitely a problem halved. If you don't, you have to talk about what you're worrying about. And it doesn't matter if it's not as big as, I'm in loads and loads of debt and I don't know what to do. It could be anything down to I worry every day. If anything, I think I do enough worrying for the pair of us in this relationship. And then I worry that Dan doesn't worry, which then makes me worry. Yeah.
But I do, but that's the good thing about it is we talk about it and say, right, I'm actually really worried right now. The wedding's coming up, I can't cope. And I don't think this is going to get done or that's going to get done. And we communicate about it, we make a plan, done. I would really tell anybody, and you can use this platform as well, if you're worried about something, you need to talk